what about the lack of goals? Because you're in there round about the camp. Is there a pressure on them, or is that just a wee freak moment of a couple of games with no goals?
I think they're well aware of the fact they're coming into this tournament out of form. I don't think it's just goals. I think the fact that, I'm sure we'll discuss it, or everyone will discuss it over the next 24 hours. The defence as well, they still don't know who the best defence is going to be. So there are question marks going into this, and that is not how Sarina Wiegman likes to plan for a major tournament. So the goals I'd say are concerning in terms of there's not an obvious fix, but there's so much talent in that front line that as soon as it clicks, other teams will be terrified.
Are they clicking, Anton?
No, they're not clicking. And I think that's a problem because you haven't seen a consistent front three play for England in the last 6 to 8 months. Basically since the USA game when Lauren Hemp had to play as a centre forward. You haven't seen, they've consistently rotated between Russo or Daly as a centre forward. Expect Daly to get the nod tomorrow. And then it's a case of, right, who are the best out of Hemp, James and Kelly? You can only really play 2 unless you play one of them deeper in the midfield. That's not going to happen. So I think until England figure that out, I think the Haiti game will be a big sense of actually, right, this is the first chance for these 11 players, but I would be very surprised if the same 11 starts every game in this tournament like they did last summer.
She can just do that, can't she? She can play around with that, and that's the thing. She was so set in her ways, wasn't she, in the last tournament? Like, surely you're going to have to trial moving it around, and Alessia Russo's surely going to start, and she did not change that lineup at all. So interesting to see how it goes tomorrow against Haiti. Do you expect any shocks?
No, I don't. I think people are underestimating Haiti. They've got someone like Demona who's just moved to Lyon. They've got some very talented players. Some players are playing in the States. They are playing for a cause. They're playing. They're playing to represent their country. It's going through all sorts of strife. We heard from their captain earlier, sort of talking about what it means to them, sort of, and the rest of the country. And I think that kind of drive can never be underestimated.
Okay.
But I do think England should win. But it's an opening game of the tournament. We've seen already how cagey teams are. And we saw how England was so cagey at Old Trafford at the beginning of the Euros. They only squeaked past Austria 1-0. All they want to do is to get through unscathed and with a win. I genuinely don't think they care by how many tomorrow. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, you're going inside to the camp today. You're going to be with our Courtney Sweetman-Kirk.
Yep.
Keep her safe. Look after her. In the back pages of the papers today, actually, just looking at the times, the England goalkeeper Mary Earps is hit out at Nike after the manufacturer refused to sell her Women's World Cup shirt. It was also unavailable to buy last summer in the European Championships, then what England won. She was named Goalkeeper of the Year and the FIFA Best in 2022 as well. So she has a real issue with this. She's called it hurtful. She's a bit disgraced by the whole thing. But you know what I love? The Lionesses don't sit on the fence. If they've got a problem, they're going to come out and say it. This is all about change. This is all about setting an example and making sure that little girls can know that they can also be a goalie when they grow up as well.
Damn right.
Are you going to speak to her today? Or are we going to be banned from asking any questions about this?
No, I think we're going to hear from Millie Bright today. So it's the first time we've heard from Millie Bright since she had her knee operation. She hasn't played since the end of March.
Yeah.
So I think there's going to be a lot of questions about what Mary's been saying, but also about the bonuses as well. The big issue coming into camp. England players rightfully want to get paid what they deem they're worth, and effectively the money that's going to come from FIFA is coming from FIFA and it's not coming from the FA. So it's an issue that obviously they've decided officially to park, no more negotiations, but at the same time it's going to rankle, isn't it?
Yeah, and they need to put those issues out there and they will get dealt with if they put them there to be raised. Anton, thank you so much. We'll hear from you a little bit later on in the tournament.